I will take the name Mexican enemies have given me. The whites will learn it, and you will learn it.
Jay Silverheels made television history as the first Native American to play a Native character on screen, becoming famous around the world as Tonto in The Lone Ranger. But behind the camera, the truth was far from heroic. When asked about the role in 1957, Jay simply said, "Tonto is stupid." And those 3 words revealed years of frustration and pain hidden behind his polite smile. Born Harold J. Smith in 1912 on the Six Nations Reserve near Ontario, Jay grew up in deep poverty within a large Mohawk family. His father, a World War I hero, returned home deaf and broken, struggling to support them on a small pension, while his mother relied on traditional medicine to keep the family alive. From a young age, Jay turned to sports, showing incredible speed on the lacrosse field. By 19, he was a professional player, earning a nickname that stuck for life, Silverheels, because his feet moved so fast they seemed to flash like metal. But success in sports didn't erase the struggles of being Indigenous in a world that refused to see Native people as equals. Jay's community lived under the shadow of Canada's residential schools, where his own sister was beaten for speaking her language, and every part of Native identity was suppressed. Even as he became a celebrated athlete, he faced endless prejudice, working odd jobs during the Great Depression just to survive. Jay's athleticism eventually led him to Los Angeles in 1937, where a chance encounter with a comedian landed him a small film role. Hollywood didn't make it easy. He was paid little and often humiliated by casting directors who saw him as an exotic prop, not a real actor. Still, Jay persisted, studying acting and taking on dangerous stunts to earn a living. By 1948, he finally caught the industry's attention with a supporting role in Key Largo alongside Humphrey Bogart, and soon after appeared in Broken Arrow, which tried, though imperfectly, to portray Native Americans with dignity. Then came The Lone Ranger in 1949, a show that changed television forever. Jay beat out dozens of others to play Tonto, making him the first Native American to portray a Native character on TV. It should have been a triumph. But the name Tonto meant stupid in Spanish, and Jay knew it. The lines were written in broken English. The character was treated like a sidekick. And despite his talent, Jay was paid half of what his co-star Clayton Moore earned. He fought for better conditions on set, even refusing to film one day until the studio provided proper dressing rooms, a move that finally forced them to treat him with a bit more respect. The fame came with a price. Jay's health began to decline, and in 1955 he suffered a heart attack during filming. Still, he returned to finish the show, though his feelings about Tonto grew more conflicted. By the time the series ended in 1957, Jay was trapped in a role that both made him a star and limited his future. Hollywood saw him only as Tonto, never as anything more. The roles offered afterward were small, repetitive, and steeped in stereotypes. Yet Jay refused to stay silent. In the 1960s, as the Native rights movement gained strength, he co-founded the Indian Actors Workshop in Los Angeles, determined to help other Native actors break through the same barriers he had faced. He believed the best way to change Hollywood was from within, by training new generations to demand better. The workshop, supported by stars like Buffy Sainte-Marie and Iron Eyes Cody, became a powerful platform for Native talent. And Jay's dreams slowly began to take shape as more Native actors found their voice on screen. Outside Hollywood, Jay's life was a mix of love, humor, and hardship. He married twice, raised 6 children, and even joked on The Tonight Show that he married an Italian woman to get back at Columbus. But behind the laughter, he carried the weight of misrepresentation, knowing that the character that made him famous also hurt his people's image. Despite criticism from activists who saw Tonto as a symbol of submission, Jay stood firm, believing that creating opportunities mattered more than destroying symbols. In the 1970s, as acting work slowed, he found peace training horses and even earned a license in harness racing. But fate had other plans. A series of strokes in the mid-1970s left him partially paralyzed. And though he lived long enough to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1979, he could barely speak the words of gratitude that had always come so easily to him. When Jay Silverheels passed away in 1980 at age 67, his ashes were returned to the Six Nations Reserve, where his story began. But his legacy didn't end there. His son Jay Jr. followed in his footsteps, acting in the legend of the Lone Ranger, and generations of Native performers continued the fight he started. Jay's vision for Native representation became reality through actors like Graham Greene and films like Smoke Signals, which proved Native stories could stand on their own. In time, Hollywood honored Jay Silverheels for what he truly was, not a sidekick, but a pioneer who helped carve a path for Indigenous talent in an industry that had long ignored it. His name shines on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and in the Western Performers Hall of Fame, a permanent reminder that even in a world that once called him Tonto, he spoke with dignity, courage, and pride. So if you believe stories like his deserve to be remembered and shared, make sure to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon for more untold truths from behind the screen.